Hey everybody, welcome to Ellis Mowers. We're on part 2 of this Troy Bilt Bronco. This originally had a 20 horsepower Kohler Courage engine on it. I put a 17.5 Briggs on it. Like I said, runs and cuts good, or runs good. We're going to get it cutting this time. New carburetor and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's like I said, it's not too bad. This was a working lawnmower before it blew an engine. Sorry, I can't really speak this evening. We're going to work on two things. One of them is fixing the brakes on this thing, which I hope is just a pad adjustment, not a bigger issue. And number two, we're gonna, I don't know if I have a flat tire or if the tire air is just down and it hasn't been re-upped in a while. I'll fill it up tonight and see. Number two is the deck. The deck is in good shape overall. It just needs blades sharpened most likely, or I might go to the extent, because this lawnmower is super nice, I might put some blades on it. You never know. Save these for a rougher mower, which is honestly what I might do. So this one was loose, I don't know why, but I'm going to throw a little bit of heat blaster down through the threads there. Sometimes these things get stuck. 15/16 ratchet, I believe, or wrench, yeah. Socket and impact, that's what I'm trying to say. Your 6-point setup. These blades really aren't bad, they're just dull. I got brand new blades for a lawnmower that's going to be as nice as this one. I have no problem putting new blades on them. I'll save those blades for a rougher mower that comes through. It's no big deal. Plus, these blades are super nice too. They're they're Oregon blades. I bought them online. I think they only cost me about 20 bucks for the pair. So, like I said, I've got a couple of sets. This is my last set of new ones, but the older Troy Bilt mowers I've got, or other mowers, I'll put even though the blades are still good, the less nice blades on it. Or if I get another one in that needs blades, I can pop it on there. Like I said, it's no big deal. So let me pop this on. Usually with the big nuts on these, I go until the impact goes no more. It's about 200 pounds, I think. I don't want them coming off, personally, so. Alright, new blades are on. That's easy. Let's pull this thing in here and see if we can work on the brakes. That's the next order of business. Alright, we're at the back of the mower here. I want to show you. Trying to film off the tripod a little bit more, but there's some things I can't show you. Under here, pardon the darkness, that bolt right there, that nut, I believe it's a 9/16, will tighten your brakes on the mower. Now the way that this pedal operated one works, I mean, it slows down and the transmission actually kind of controls your speed, so the brakes aren't that important. However, to park it, if you're going to park it on a hill or something, you need the brakes. And right now I've got it in neutral with the brake down, and it's still moves free as everything. So I'm going to grab the ratchet here. It's a half, pardon me. Can't be that easy, can it? All right. It should move freely. It does. Park brake. Within like 5 minutes, we've already fixed the two other major issues. I'm going to put air in this tire. I'm going to go ahead and put this deck on. It's getting kind of dark, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to put the engine cover on and an air filter in it, and by gosh, I think we're done. Crazy. I thought I was going to have to buy a drive belt for it. The drive belt's working fine. Somebody, if y'all don't mind, comment on this video and tell me if the drive belt routing is supposed to be like that, because let me show you real quick. I've got a Craftsman out here that does the exact same thing, and it might just be the way that it is, because I don't really get a lot of these pedal drive transmissions in. Like I said, it might just be the way that it is. So this one does the same thing. So must just need to adjust the brakes on that too, because it's the same symptoms. So I'm wondering if I wonder if the brakes get wore out from a couple other things. I'm not sure. I also need to put the shroud on there. Let me air up these tires. I'm gonna put this deck on, and we'll roll it around the yard. Really quickly, I can show you. It's easier for me to show you the finished product. There's an arm that goes on the front here, and then there's two clips in the back where the deck clips on, and then you're done. It's just a 3-point deal with this. So I'll go ahead and dress this thing up a little bit. I'll catch up with y'all in just a second. So I will actually use the exhaust from this Troy Bilt out here, because this engine's going to go on a Husqvarna, and I can use a Craftsman exhaust on a Husqvarna. So I do have an exhaust for it. The other one, like I said, was just in like 2 different pieces, so I didn't want to use that per se. So like I said, I'll fix that exhaust another day. Let me get the deck on it and get some air in the tires. So for the record, the Craftsman muffler goes too far down in order for the front mount to go onto the deck. So I am going to fix that in the morning, because it's almost dark and I am done for the day. I know it runs, that's all I really care about, and I know it's going to cut as soon as I get everything addressed with the deck. I will put the 2 back mounts on it, and probably go ahead and, well, the deck belt's already on it, so I'll finish the rest of it up tomorrow, which will be right now. Okay, so I brought this one in. Let me tell you real quickly while I'm not going to save this one. The deck is in good shape, and the mower itself, apart the hood was in shambles, but the mower itself otherwise was in fairly decent shape. But when you go back here down to the pulley for the drive pulley for the deck, as well as this is going to be fun to take off. I'm just going to tell you that. That's going to be another video, but not today. It'll be on the whenever I work on that Husqvarna in there. But all the transaxle pulleys and stuff back here are just rusted way out for me to even attempt to want to save this. So that's why I'm using it as a parts mower. It's got a super nice seat on it. Really nice seat. A couple other things. But anyways, because sometimes I get an inquiry as to, why don't you save this mower? Why don't you save that mower? Well, that's the reason why I'm not saving this one. Because all the pulleys on it are rusted, and I'd just be fighting a losing battle, so to speak. The engine I know is good. Got a good gas tank. Decent tires, not that one, but you know, good front tires. So some decent parts off of it, including the muffler. See, like, it's going to be perfect because I get to take the muffler off of this and save myself some money and have it look like a factory swap, apart from the engine cover that I have to use, which I don't think I saved any other engine covers. So it's just going to have a Craftsman branded engine on it. But anyways, the muffler is relatively easy to do here. I think all I got to do is take off that bolt, and then obviously the two star bits. There's star bits on this that get it off. I put a little bit of lube on the star bits to try and get them off. So that's what I'm going to do next. I should be able to adopt this muffler and the entire housing, I believe. I think I can adopt it to that, or adapt it to that, not adopt it. Wow. We'll find out. I'll show you the end result after I finish it, because all it is just putting some bolts and stuff together, or taking off some bolts and putting some new bolts on. So I'll show you the end result of that, and catch you in just a second. Alrighty, I wanted to show you a couple of differences between this muffler and the other muffler. It's really not too bad. I need to get the downpipe out of this, which that was easy enough. This is one of the older style mufflers. This should work just fine still. But it's got the 4 bolts on the top, where this one actually is just supported by a little bracket on these newer mowers. The older mowers are supported at the top here. So all I gotta do is take off those 4 3/8 bolts there, and then we'll go ahead and put the muffler onto the mower over here. So let me go ahead and do this. Maybe they're 10 mils. Nope. Nope. Might have to cut them off. Okay. This isn't going to work like I want it to. In theory, I should just have to be able to take them 4 bolts off right there. What I could do I think I'm going to cut them off. I'm going to get this thing on the, I don't know if it even fit on the vise, but I'll get it. Just going to get it down like that, and I'm just going to take the cutters and cut them off at the top there. It will have I guess it will have something on the top, but I don't think the way that they've got these adapters on this for the hood, there's really no way for me to mount it like it should be mounted, and I need extra mounts. Yeah. I'm going to need extra mounts in addition if I put this on like that. So I'm going to cut these off, and that should allow us to put the muffler onto the new style plate. So let me go ahead and do that. Alrighty, y'all. It looks kind of factory. It will fit. I figured that out. It will fit. I originally thought that the muffler was going to sit a lot further up, like the shroud sit a lot further up. So I did cut that. I did not need to do that, from what I found out. But the muffler is wedged in there, well in between. Oh, it's going to rattle. It looks like. It's wedged in there in between the bottom and the top of the engine here. I might have to put a screw or two in it just to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. I might have to put a screw in right there. I'm not sure. But the muffler is probably going to rattle some. Granted, given the fact what I've done to it. Let's crank it up and see what happens though. Well, the key will work. That's quieter than the other one, I think. It's got some rust to blow off. a little bit. Well, one thing we could test out is the blades. That's so funny. Watch this dust cloud. Alright, I'm going to knock the blades down on it. We'll see if it runs like it should here. Put it down on 4 maybe. Oh, aha. I think I took it off. Oops. Put you on the tripod real quick. I do have to fix that blade guard anyways. I just want to make sure the blades work like they're supposed to. Alright, it does need a deck belt. Along with, man, that doesn't need any deck work. It just needs a belt. The belt's loose on it. Ooh, there's an exhaust gasket. I need that for later. Runs quiet, drives quiet. Just needs a deck belt. So let's put a deck belt on. I also need to put a tire tube in this, or I've got another tire on that other red Troy Bilt that works. So let me see what I can do, and I'll catch up with y'all in just a second. I tell you what, I'm learning more and more about MTD stuff all the time. So apparently there's supposed to be a decent, I don't know if there's supposed to be a decent amount of slack in the belt when it's not being used or what. But what this does, see, all of these pulleys are very tight, so you can't even get the belt off of it, including right there. So what's happening is it keeps slipping off down here, and that's because this piece is off of it. So what I'm going to do is make sure the belt's on first off, and secondly I'm going to put try and lube that blade brake up as well to see if it'll work properly again too. What I'm going to do is take this 10mm out right here, put a washer on it, reinforce it, and put it back together. I'll put the deck back on and we'll see if that fixes our issue with the deck belt coming off of it. Because Craftsman's are not loose at all. Craftsman's don't really need any sort of, I'm talking about AYP made Craftsman that makes Husqvarna and the other ones. They usually, the older ones, don't need any sort of like guides or anything because the belt tension is enough to keep it on. They figured it out. People like John Deere, MTD did not, and they've got guides like mushed up all around it to make sure that belt doesn't come off. Well, like I said, the blades work fine. Y'all heard them whenever it's running, but heaven forbid one of these guards messes up on us. It's on then. So let me take that 10mm off, reinforce it with a washer, make sure that it's not going to slide off of there, and we'll get back to it. Alright, I got the deck back on it again. I wanted to show you though that where this thing caught fire at one point. It's funny. There's the air filter's charred, the whole plastic piece inside it is charred. It's crazy. And then of course this pre-filter is done. I've got an air filter for it. It's just funny. I'm sure it was with the way them valves were. Goodness gracious. Probably shooting fire out like a dragon. So it's just 4 bolts to get that back on. Let me source 4 bolts to put it on. I'll put it on, and I'm going to drive it around, hit up the pressure washer, give it another nice cleaning, and then we will take it for a spin. One more thing I'm going to do to it is fix the gasket for the valve cover. I'll let that sit overnight. I'll list it today, but I'll let that sit overnight and let it do its work. Hopefully sell it here within 48 hours. Got to clean up the deck and things like that. So let me go ahead and do all those little minor things, and I'll come back and we'll give this thing a final look and start, apart from the fact I'm gonna fix the valve cover on it. That's all that y'all won't see. I've done those about 100 times. And also I'm gonna swap the tire out on the right rear here. So a couple things y'all aren't gonna see in this video, but y'all see plenty of me doing. So again, let me get to it. I'll catch y'all in just a second. Alright everybody, this is the Bronco all cleaned up. About ready to take pictures of it after I give y'all a little final look around with it. Man, I didn't get that wheel very good, but the outside appearance of it looks pretty good. So I'm not going to worry about pressure washing it, because, you know, after one cut it gets right back to about where it was, seems like. Engine cleaned up pretty decent. I wish it cleaned up a little bit better than it did. Can't help it. The battery I cranked the mess out of on a different engine, and so it's actually a little bit on the weak side. I gotta jump it off, and I'll show you a final test. My deck fix worked, so it's cutting beautifully now. I swapped the right rear tire for that other Troy Bilt one down there, and it worked out well. Gosh, this mower is probably going to give me, this mower will at least give me $600. I will list it for $650. It's worth every bit of $650. It's basically cut one residential yard for, I don't know how many years, probably about, just by looking at the nose on this thing, it's probably a 2012 or so model. I don't have a year on it anywhere. The engine's obviously older. It's an 04, but the buyer, I'll tell the buyer I put a different engine on it. As long as the engine runs and cuts well, that most buyers really don't care. Cosmetic condition does matter. Like I said, I washed this thing and it looks a whole lot, I mean, it looks much better. It already looked good before I got it. Again, I've got $300, and I traded them a Troy Bilt Pony that was a little bit older, a 2006, for this blown up Kohler Courage. Put the Briggs on it. Just had to do a little bit of deck repair on the little guard that helps keep the belt on it, and I had to adjust the brakes. Those three things, and we're good. So let me jump this thing off. We'll take it for a drive down the driveway. And I'm going to leave that battery on a trickle charge every night. It's a new battery. I've just wore it out quite a few times, actually. So I might have killed a cell in it, but it's under 12.5, and pretty much anything under 12.5 volts isn't going to start it. So I can try it one more time, but I think I'm going to jump it and get right back with y'all. Yeah, let me jump it off, and I'll get right back with you here in just a second. Also, because those headlights are a little finicky, I also just removed the headlights. I got it on the jumper. Let's see if it'll crank. I probably flooded it with some water. So let me let it sit for a little bit. Let's see if I can crank it up here in just a second. It happens, especially with this crappy air filter. I got a little bit of water in it, but that shouldn't make that much of a difference. One more time. just for the record, it is showing 12.8 at the battery whenever it is running, and the voltage when the battery is off is about 12.4. So it's charging the battery. I'm sure if I cut the grass with it one time, it would probably charge it up enough. But pretty confident in this one. I'm not even gonna cut grass with it. All right, forward. What I like about this one, a lot of these whine really badly whenever you give it a lot of pedal action. This one doesn't, not even reverse. I mean, there's a little bit of whine, but this thing actually goes faster in reverse than it does forward. It's kind of funny. All right, I'll show you. I'm going to engage the blades a couple of times to show you that it works. Just had to get the water off there. Cuts in reverse too. I don't know if it's like that's supposed to be like that, or if they've already taken off the reverse switch. Here, I'll show you what it does. Completely stop. Now I'll engage it again. While we're at it. Why not? Y'all like test rides, don't you? Turn this around for picture time. I'll just get right here with this top. All right. Whew. It's not been going boom, which is good. All right, so that's the end of this one. I appreciate y'all watching. Again, this is July when I'm filming this, so we're on the cusp of the end of mower season around here. Or it's almost July, end of June. Probably got about 2 good weeks left in it. especially with the weather that we've been having. Y'all won't see this video until December just because I'm that far ahead and I've got other projects that go on. I don't work on lawnmowers all year, every day. So, but I still want to give y'all some good year-round content. So, pretty simple on this one. Engine swap. Hopefully I showed you that going from a Briggs or from a Kohler to a Briggs and vice versa is not that difficult. It's basically just a wiring harness swap. You're good to go. Or a wiring harness, like the part that goes from to the engine. So I appreciate y'all watching. Well, we also did some brakes and a little bit of deck work. Very minimal for the amount of money I'm going to make on it. So thank you all again for watching. You can catch me at Ellis Mowers 09 on Instagram and Facebook. I'll catch you right here on YouTube for the next video.